Hello, my name is Michelle Sherman, creator of the VAST Institute.
Hello, my name is Michelle Purnell Hepburn, currently serving the community as the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Director of the Seattle Foundation.
And we
We
are
are
the Curly Girls.
the girls.
We are your hosts, and today we explore how creative and powerful you are via shared and inherent brilliance.
Our mission, the Curly Girl mission, to joyfully generate enthusiasm about how beautiful life is and how we are with anecdotes, techniques, and encouragement as two curly girls who have seen a lot. We also want to demonstrate that when we belong to ourselves, we do not need to look outside for what is already wonderful about each of us.
We will offer, via our Curly Girls Guide to Belonging podcast series, perspective, encouragement, and practical tools to hone your world in a loving and compassionate manner. Now, let's talk a little bit, Michelle, about how we came up with the Curly Girl concept. And today our focus is on creativity. Why is that so important?
Creativity is important because it allows us to dream. It allows us to dream, and when we dream and we focus on that dream, we are in the midst of creating what we want in our lives.
I love that because we are creator beings. We are capable of creating so much more than we realize. You and I have had conversations about that. And being creative takes practice and skill. It's not just something that happens. So I'm really excited about our work and the Curly Girls Guide to Belonging series, because we're going to be able to share not just ideas and tools and techniques and inspiration, but we'll also be able to share how people can create with ease, create with joy, create without the sadness and the suffering that we all understand can be part of life. So
Absolutely. We are always creators, whether we're conscious of it or not. What our series will bring are techniques and tools to be more conscious about what we're creating.
being conscious and aware, I love talking about levels of consciousness. You and I believe in kind-hearted power. And it's something that takes a little thoughtfulness, a little riskiness, and a little playfulness to have kind-hearted power with you. And so I'm excited to hear more about kind-hearted power, creativity, and also the fact that we know that people can see the best in each other when given the opportunity and also the right support. So we're here to support that.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you a little bit about something that I've heard you speak about, Michelle, and I just love when you share these ideas because they feel so nourishing. And that's something that Vast and myself and the work that you do, just making sure people are enriched by our enriched by our words, enriched by our engagement. So tell me a little bit about, the whole point of understanding yourself and where you would start, or some of the places you would start to encourage people to look at their creativity.
Certainly. I encourage people, number one, to see the universe as a place or an entity or a guide that always says yes. Universe always says yes. To be intentional in our creation not only is to realize that, but also realize that I need to focus on what I want instead of what I don't want. Let me give you an example. I want a red pen. Universe says yes. I'm afraid I don't deserve a red pen. Universe says yes. But I really want this red pen. And the universe says yes. But I'm afraid the red pen is too expensive. Universe says yes. We, as creator beings, must support our minds to continually focus on what we want and not what we think we can have.
Absolutely. Thank you. There's a limitation, for the work that I enjoy doing. We call it original thinking, and the original thinking is being on the edge of what's possible. And to be an original thinker, you were a guest on our podcast series, which we really appreciated, on original thinking, and is to be a little bit outrageous. It takes risk. To be creative takes courage and a willingness to go first, to be visionary, to be seen as someone who may not always make perfect sense. That kind of courage is ultimately rewarded, but not always in the moment. So, being creative is, I think, one of the most admirable qualities that we possess as human beings. We talk about it as original thinking, but also positive imagination. In Kindling the Flame, our primer on cognitive replenishment, it's a wonderful way to see how much impact and control we do have over how we create and the quality of our lives. It's not just about where we're going, it's about the magnificent opportunities and journeys and lessons that we can glean as we get there. And I think you hit the nail on the head, Michelle, with hey, it's not just what you think you want, you're also able to transcend what you think you can have.
Yes. I would also add to what you just said, Michelle. It's also about how we receive and being willing to receive what we truly want and not push it away.
The example that you gave about the red pen, I
Mm-hmm.
love it. And it's the mixed messages. And in the world, we are drawn by most of the people that I have the honor of working with have very, very, large opportunities to think clearly and then strategically apply that for their business, for themselves, for the betterment of the group. And what happens is we don't realize how to create without all the muss and fuss, that the clarity, as you said, to focus on what we want, the willingness to be joyful about it, and the opportunity to do something that at vast, we've taken people beyond their imagination. That's what we were, how could you go beyond your imagination? Well, that's the visionary. It may feel uncomfortable, but we are focusing on what we want, and we know that the universe says yes, as you pointed out, we will get there.
Let us also talk about core needs. I believe that every human being has a zillion needs. And we all have a few needs that are core, that absolutely make Michelle, Michelle, or this Michelle, Michelle. And when we know what those core needs are, we want to get so clear about what our core needs are that we would recognize them when we saw them in any situation.
Mm-hmm.
And when you, in any situation, be it relationship, be it job, be it you want a house, a car, a boat, what have you, when you see your core needs being met, the universe can't help but bring what you want to you.
You're in that place of resonance, attractiveness, the personal value system tool that we use in our healthy relationship workbook talks about the core needs. And what is so refreshing is once you know them, there are so many healthy, delightful, innovative ways to get them met that you never think about until you say, hey, you know what? I need a little color in my life. or I need quiet, or I need to have somebody who will just listen.
Exactly. If you are a person who truly gets energy by being quiet, having time to yourself, more than likely, when you want to go on vacation, going on vacation with a group that expects to spend 90% of the time together, it's probably not going to be a vacation for you.
Mhm. Right, you won't feel nourished.
You will not feel nourished and replenished.
Yes. And so part of the mix is imagination. I love, one of our core competencies is positive imagination. And people go, well, what is that? That's a hybrid of optimism and critical thinking. And positive imagination, is something that takes skill and it takes practice. So part of the creative process is about imagination. Would you share with us some of your thoughts about that topic? Because to me, it's such a pivotal piece of how I create, when I create, and what I create for myself in the world.
Certainly. I don't think that practice makes perfect. Practice makes progress. To be conscious about anything, when you're conscious, you are practicing. And creation, intentional creation, does take practice because we are training our minds to continue to focus on what we want. There are times when the doubt sets in. We have to recognize that doubt and then say, but what I choose is that red pen. What I choose is that job, that relationship, whatever it is that we are seeking at the time. So practice for me is not only hearing my voice saying what I want, but also writing it down. So I
Mhm.
can come back to it at another time and say, yep, that's still what I want. Or, no, maybe I want a green pen. I think I want a green pen. Erase or cross out, red, green. And the next time I look at it, yep, still green. That's still what I want.
The the difference between having what you want, what you choose, and what you prefer. I love it. So imagination helps you hone what it is that is in your best interest. I agree.
Absolutely. Mhm.
Um, that, it's one of those things that takes also space, where you need to have time to replenish your mind, where you need to be able to have some permission. We all need permission to just be, which is going to be another one of our Curly Girl series. In our Curly Girl series, the belonging. So, well, let me ask you, how do you suggest someone start? The world is I mean, we're talking about, we want to create a, you know, I would like to expedite the illumination of humankind as gently as possible. That's what VAST is up to. You are doing the same in your beautiful work at the foundation. How do you think we can start to make changes? I know working on the individual level makes a ripple and sends things out. How do you see us focusing? Where should we focus our attention in your estimation to create something
Being a,
wonderful?
being a practical person, I start with a blank piece of paper and a pencil or a pen. For me, it's a journal, could be any piece of paper. and literally stream of consciousness. Write down what you want. Just write it down. Just that raises your energy level into focusing on what you want. Instead of it just ruminating in your head, let's see it on a piece of paper. And stream of consciousness, and just allow yourself to dream as big as you want. And then I would encourage you not to throw the paper away, but to put it away. Put it somewhere where you can look at it later. Later could be in an hour, later could be in a week, later could be any time. And then pick it up again and look at what you wrote. Does it still resonate? My friends will let you know. I will say, does it still make your heart go pity pat? And if it does, great. Put it away. And every time you look at it, cross out what doesn't, what don't no longer resonates, or what you already received and are thrilled with. Add more, and just continue.
Just keep open to receiving all the good. There's so much beauty, there's so much goodness, there's so much gentle courage and kindness around us. Paying attention to what it is that we do want instead of giving emotional license and drama and crisis to what we don't want. Brings us also to a place of calm and beauty. And being able to see things we might not have seen before because we were distracted by our fear instead of focusing on our love and our best selves.
Because this is all about love. This is not only love of self, but also love that the universe will show, does show for you. And when you're full, when I am full, I can give so much more to my community.
Personal coherence and the competencies that are precious to us at VAST, the 6 of them, they create personal coherence. And it's been studied at the Heart Math Institute that when I'm in harmony with myself, in right relationship to myself, I'm healthier, happier, and it fans out and unfolds and inspires people in my community.
Yes, yes. And this community called Earth needs so much of that, especially in the times that we're in.
Yeah, to love each other up. It's not that difficult if you're willing to feel a bit foolish on occasion, but that's a whole other podcast. I appreciate your honing in on creativity and the things that you suggest. I'm always thinking, how can we get the collective to move into a place of creating a better world? And I have 3 thoughts I'd like to just put out there to our guests. And in addition to the wonderful thoughts that you've shared, imagine it possible. It's the first step. Don't imagine something's possible, never going to happen. And that's a big step for a lot of people, imagining they could be happy, imagining they could be free. That's the expanded willingness to give to oneself that you were talking about earlier. Imagine it wonderful. I don't know how this is going to work out, but it's going to be that minor nuisance. We talk about minor nuisance. If I dub it a minor nuisance, it might actually turn out to be a minor nuisance, but also allow the wonderment, the awe of how beautiful it all really can be. Don't miss the beauty. Don't miss the awe. Don't miss the wonderment. Imagine it first. Imagine it possible. Imagine it beautiful. And imagine it now. Those 3 things, if that practice could create peace on earth this afternoon. If we all imagine that possible, if we imagined it wonderful, and if we imagined it happening now. So that's the community's discussion. I so appreciate and love the personal development and the self-cherishment piece of it as well. It's the same opportunity.
Yes. Yes. The universe just wants to know what. In order for the universe to say yes, the universe just wants to know, what do you want?
Mm-hmm.
The details of how, way above your pay grade,
Mm-hmm.
way above my pay grade. So as you are imagining, as you say, let the universe handle the details.
Yes. And I so appreciate when uh, people are willing to imagine things that are so unconventional, because that's the whole point. If you're at that level, you're at the edge of what we understand. Einstein, one of my favorite scientists, basically, imagination is more important than knowledge, because knowledge is what already exists. And imagination is on the cutting edge of what we are capable of understanding. That's my read on what he said, plus a little bit of him sprinkled in. And that's exciting to me. I know things are a little bit difficult now for so many beautiful beings on the planet. We're faced with great deal of dissipation and changes and concerns, and I see the creation of opportunities to do something truly different and wonderful as a result of the chaos and the difficulty, which is heart-wrenching. But there's also the opportunity to create something, the phoenix from the ashes, the ability to realize we have the opportunity to work it out as a species on this planet. I would encourage all of us to just take a little more time each day to focus on how amazing things are, how miraculous they are. Michelle, closing thoughts today before we thank our listeners and our guests, and share with them just a little bit about what's happening next.
We are all powerful creators. Let us be intentional about what we are creating and enjoy the process and the journey.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Beautiful thought. And definitely a reflection of intentional life design, one of our pillars. The responsibility, what I do matters. It's like what we choose can truly make a difference, can truly contribute to a better world in our own lives and the lives of all those around us. I want to thank everybody who joined us today, whether it was live or you tuned in from our website and our promotional social media. I want to thank you all. And I'd like for you to know that Michelle and I are going to be discussing some more intriguing topics that have to do with the Curly Girl's Guide to Belonging. Next, we will chat, rant, and rave to explore one of our favorites, worthiness. Worthiness. We all are working on knowing that we are there. And so we're inviting all of our curly or honorary curly girls to join us. All are welcome, for we know we are all better together. Until then, make sure to see the beautiful belonging work that Michelle is doing at the Seattle Foundation. It is truly remarkable. And for those of you who feel inspired, please support that. It is just an amazing community blessing. And please visit the VAST Institute to learn how to thrive with myself and become a subscriber to our most enjoyable and enriching events. Until next time, I would like to say, have a good evening from myself and Michelle, and know that as curly girls, you are an amazing presence on the planet. Thank you.